It's a perennial complaint that we in the news business only bring you bad news and then more bad news. But with so many things that make a difference in their communities being done, we're going to try to balance the scales. And that's why we're introducing a new series that we're calling Greater Bostonians. Each story will feature people who are not household names, but they're changing lives each in their own way. Tonight, WGBH's Stephanie Lydon introduces us to a man who's helped reclaim and reinvent one of Boston's toughest areas.
For years, the commuter rail passed by but never stopped, another slight for a part of town that was largely ignored. Drug deals and gang violence dominated life here. Outsiders avoided it, residents wanted to leave, and who could blame them?
The Wild Wild West is what they used to call it.
Welcome to Dorchester's Four Corners.
The name came because of the four streets. Bowdoin Ave, there's Bowdoin Street on this side. It turns into Harvard this side, then you got Washington going through.
For the past 20 years, Marvin Martin has devoted most of his waking hours to changing the reputation and the reality of a neighborhood defined by this intersection.
What is it that made you want to stay when everyone else wanted to leave?
Well, you can see the potential. You got 4,000 households, basically, which is in the Four Corners area. And you got, a couple of houses that's going buck wild. That's 2 out of 4,000 households. So the majority of the people are good, hardworking people. So you just got to organize them.
And as the man behind the Greater Four Corners Action Coalition, that's exactly what he's done. Mobilized residents and politicians to push out gangs and bring in parks, housing, and business.
This whole thing is going to change.
Now every corner of Four Corners is attracting development.
This is all bottom up. So that's ownership. That's ownership. And that's part of the change in the attitude in this community. It's not coming from some benevolent person saying, oh, let's do this for the neighborhood. The neighborhood is saying, this is what we need done.
There is more work to do, and a younger generation inspired by Martin to take it on.
He taught us how to be better organizers and how to actually be an agent for change in this world.
Mela Bush-Miles grew up in Four Corners.
I think there should be a walk of fame for all of the people who have worked so hard to change this community. And if we could get some stars put into the sidewalk, I would like to see that happen. And Marvin would get the first one.
The signs of his success are everywhere. It took more than a decade for the community to make it happen, but these days, when the train comes through, it stops. It's easier than ever to leave Four Corners, but Marvin Martin has given people more reasons than ever to come back. Stephanie Lydon, WGBH News.
I'd give him that star too. We know that new development tends to bring concerns about gentrification, but Martin tells us he's working hard to make sure Four Corners doesn't follow the example of the South End, where most longtime residents can no longer afford to live. And after 20 years, Martin admits he does think about retirement sometimes. Now, if you know someone who's making a difference in changing lives, please let us know. Nominate our next Greater Bostonian by emailing us at greaterboston@wgbh.org or tweet us at Greater Boston and tell us who it should be.